Hi, Bad Gamer here. So what's new? On July 16th, 2025, Nintendo revealed that the casting for the live-action The Legend of Zelda film is finally up. Since I've just finished playing through Breath of the Wild about a week ago, for me the news are actually right on time. Yes, it's exciting. But trigger warning, it also refuels my skepticism about adapting interactive experiences into passive media. Let's be blunt. This isn't about telling new stories right here. It's about repurposing existing emotional investment for profit. The Zelda franchise has sold over 150 million units since 1986. Nintendo's Tears of the Kingdom moved 20 million copies in under a year. Think about that. It's global dominance. So why not make a film, huh? For Sony and Nintendo, it's a low-risk blockbuster, and for fans, obviously that's a sugar rush of nostalgia. The business model is pretty clear. Invest in proven IP to extract headline attention. Merge-ready content. Cross-platform synergy. There's no narrative incentive beyond more exposure. Any talk of bringing the story to a wider audience rings quite hollow when the core idea is squeezing IP for maximum returns. Here's the thing. Games are defined by participation. You don't just see Link pull the Master Sword, you do it. You don't just feel the heartbreak with Joel, you choose to spare or sacrifice, right? That's the power of interactivity. HBO's The Last of Us got near critical acclaim for unpacking that story in visual form. Every line of dialogue, every achieved reference, yes, it was accurate. But I lost interest after episode 1. Why? Because I already felt that pain. I had carried Ellie, I had sacrificed, right? That active emotional labor can't be recaptured by watching. It's baked by research. There's a 2021 study on embodied narrative processing that shows that active gameplay generates stronger emotional resonance than passive viewing. When you control a character, decisions become personal. Strip that interactivity and the emotional scaffolding collapses, broski. I keep hearing, but games are already cinematic. They'll translate easily. No. Games like Red Dead Redemption 2 or God of War feature obviously spectacular visuals. Yes, but that's not what anchors their emotions, alright? In God of War, you pass the controller through Atreus to perform a crucial move. That kinship emerges from mechanics, not camera angles. Take Shadow of the Colossus, for example, as well. When you climb up a Colossus while it shakes and trembles in pain, your thumb is on that stick. The emotional note doesn't exist on screen. It happens when you execute something massive and brutal. Film can mimic the visual, but not spine-liquefying participation you're having when you hold the controller in your own hands. Adaptations love to simplify. Look at the Assassin's Creed movie. Lore kinda removed. Uncharted turned Nathan Drake into a baby-faced TikTok adventurer. And I mean, now the Zelda movie already kinda seems primed to follow the trend. Teenage actors, presumably a lighter tone, and a mass appeal over mythic nuance. That's fine if your goal is wider exposure. But if your goal is authenticity, this is moving the opposite direction. Yes, not everyone can play a 50-hour RPG. That's fair. Movies can indeed be some gateways. But the thing is, the production must reimagine, not just reproduce. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, for example, did this well. It respected the world and offered fresh angles on it. Assassin's Creed, bruh. Trash. If you're going to bring a game to non-players, do it with respect and do it with creativity, not by stripping it down to mass appeal. Games are cinema. They're narrative art. They offer something no film can replicate. Self-driven momentum, failure, tension, all of that transferred to your limbs and to your mind. Video games don't need adaptation. They're already a new kind of art. That controller is the paintbrush. That joystick is the lens. So when Hollywood rolls out big budget Zelda grounded in casting reveals, I don't know, nostalgia fireworks, sure. But it begs the question, are we watching or are we playing? So yes, I'll stay cautious. I adore games, I enjoy movies, I respect the ambition, but not if it drains the things that made games unique in the first place. Control, choice, failure, depth. Want to experience Hyrule? Pick up the Switch. Want to feel the emotional blast of The Last of Us? Press play. Because watching won't fill that gap until these adaptations find a new language, one that marries cinematic craft with players' agency. My mindset remains the same. I'll stick with holding a controller and not popcorn. That was my take. Let me know yours in the comments. If you enjoy, subscribe. Bad Gamer out.